avez réussi
Oui,
à,
oui, oui.
à vos achats?
Oui.
Ouais.
J'ai fait tout le...
Oui.
Sinon, là...
Au marché
Non, même pas, même pas. Il y a
le village market.
village market.
Yeah. Plus facile.
Oui, oui, c'est tout près. Tu payes $2.
15 minutes. Que ça, c'est plus précieux, peut-être même que l'argent que vous avez payé.
Oui, oui.
Le temps que vous coûte arriver au...
C'est à 5 minutes ici.
But you think 3 of us? No problem. I'm coming. C'était la préparation et formulation de l'agenda de forum. Ça, c'était fait là-bas avec la surveillance du comité facilitateur du groupe principal et stakeholders. And the name?
And the name is...
Hello.
Consolidating.
We're going to start again with session 12
In the last session, no?
as the last session,
Yay!
at least for this forum, and it's called Consolidating Our Key Messages. So we are already 2 days active in listening a lot, but also in drafting key messages on the several topics that are on the agenda of the UNEA. But the outcome of this global major group stakeholder forum is that we come up with a consolidated text agreed with all major groups, by all major groups, so that we can give that message into the UNEA. I think it's on, maybe in the CPR, I don't know, CPR as well. So we have some minutes that we can explain the key messages that we have as outcome of this meeting, the 2-day meetings. So it's not that every major group has its own key messages. We tried to integrate them all in one consolidated key message from all the major groups. I know that it's a kind of mission impossible, but anyhow, we are trying.
Ambitious.
There is a methodology for that, but first I will give the floor to Saro, because she was the one leading the group in integrating or putting all together the key messages from the several major groups, so we know how it was done. And then we go into the exercise in putting the dots on the papers over there. But I leave it now to Sarah. Yes.
Thank you, Leda. I just wanted to share that this was an effort of a team that consisted of RJ, April, Rina, myself, and many others who provided their inputs. And so we are really a team, so the credit goes to all these team members. Second, I want to say that the way that we had tried to put this together was to take the report backs from the moderator and the rapporteurs of the thematic issues, as well as yesterday we had the systemic barriers, and that also was included. And therefore, this basically was pulling together the reports that were coming from the moderators and the facilitators and the rapporteurs. Second, we also had the major groups meeting during lunchtime, and they had drafted some recommendations, some positions, which we have tried to incorporate. Right now we have not been able to incorporate all the major groups' positions, but we will do that, and we will explain how this will work. So that, I think, is how this actually basically was developed. So all the views were coming from the participation and the discussions on the floor, and we were pulling together. And even this morning, when there were questions about things that were left out, so even emails sent to try to fill the gaps were also taken into account and incorporated into the key messages. Now, what will happen with the key messages is we will try, as Leda was saying, we will try our best to create a statement that, and this will be how we are thinking of as a format, the stories from the grassroots, the affected people, the struggles will be, which will be the opening, kind of opening the statement. This will be followed by a preamble that would really focus on the systemic barriers that we discussed yesterday, and that has been incorporated in the key messages. Then into the themes, and in the themes we will have, again, maybe example stories, problems, and the recommendations. And then finally, we'll have something on a strong CSO participation recommendation as part of the recommendation. So this is how we're seeing. And so we will try to do this by tonight and tomorrow and send it out as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, just to add what Saro said, hopefully by tomorrow when we have our morning meeting at 7:30, we will have the full statement that we're probably going to read at the OECPR. Yeah, so that is actually the ambition. We're going to also work in relation with refining the language and everything by tonight, and then we can still get inputs until tomorrow. The other thing that I want to say that I would like to say thank you for all the major groups that has, like very great and then been sending me all the key messages and inputs. But also please do understand the limitation of the drafting group. We only have exactly 1 hour to try to integrate that key messages. So some of the messages coming from the major group is not yet incorporated, especially those who are late. Those who are sending after 3 o'clock, unfortunately we cannot incorporate it in the current message, but there will be chance and opportunities for us to integrate it later on. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do the democracy session. So if in the Mentimeter we actually had like a more very short statement and then we had a poll individually, this one, like explained this morning, we're going to have like a poll, a vote on affirmation based on the major group's position. Yeah, this is going to be a collective major group position. So what we're going to do, we now have those paper. If you see it right there. Yeah, it has different themes, session themes, and also in regarding with systemic issues. What we need to do for each of the point, for each of the paper there, there's one flip chart contain maybe 5 or 6 paper, right? So for each of the paper, each major group will need to decide whether that they affirm okay with the statement or whether they are still not okay with the statement. Yeah? And then the same thing goes to the other paper. You need to affirm whether you're okay or not. So I will ask, what is going to happen is that I would like to ask the major group, because you have met each other, all the major group, I would ask the other to trust the major group coordinator to actually know exactly the position of your major group. So each of the major group, what is it called? Facilitator? Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Each of the major group representative is going to get a dots, and then you can actually make a vote there. Is it clear enough? Clear? No! All right, not clear. Yahya, you want to speak?
Yeah, I want to speak. I sincerely find this to be different from what we are used to do. I think the statement from major groups must be endorsed by every representative in the facilitating committee. It's not the drafting group. And I find it difficult to endorse a statement that I didn't participate to develop. Thank you.
Okay, Noreen?
Yeah, I would also just offer a comment about the moderator's summaries. There was only one business panelist in the 2 days, and I was the business panelist in session 2. And I'm kind of amazed to find not a single point that the business and industry raised in that session 2 reflected in the moderator's summary. So, I mean, it's probably just an oversight, and I know that this is going to be an iterative process, but I think there's just this additional challenge of, you know, where we didn't participate in some of the other panels, some of the major group views are not reflected very well. I guess the challenge we have is, are we writing a summary of the meeting, which is one thing, and a record of what was said and what different panelists said, or is this framing the views of major groups which reflect long consultation with constituencies? And maybe it can be both. And I know, as Leda said, it's not easy, it can be mission impossible, but just, I think we have to be very clear about what we're doing and what we're reflecting. Thank you.
Okay. In relation with Yahya's statement, I think that from the very beginning of the GMGSF, we also actually explain the methods on how we're going to do the consensus of the position. And then we already give chances like 2 or 3 times for the major groups to meet and then also to send key messages to the drafting group. So if what we actually have here is actually the result of the session, the summary of the session that we received from the facilitators, and then also the one that we received from the major groups. So hopefully, if Yahya, if you feel that trade union and workers' position is not reflected, and then I know that you haven't really sent the major group positions, maybe you can tell us later on, and then we will try to integrate it. But what we need is actually for each of the major group to look into this message, key message, with a very open mind, that maybe you look into the content, not the language yet, you know. You look into the content, the gaps of the demand on position that you need to put, and then let us know, you know, and then make a vote. And then let us know if there's any gaps that you want us to integrate. I hope that is clear, Yahya. I know this is one of the innovative way. We're not doing it like the way that we do before, for each like line by line wording, but we try to do it in a different way so we can have a consolidated statement for all the major groups. Yeah. Maybe you want to, sorry.
I just was wondering on how we proceed to agree on the key messages, and having one dot per each thematic session, it's quite challenging because you may agree with different key messages within that thematic. Maybe we can have illimited dots per major group. Maybe we could cast our position within all the key messages, and that would be easier to proceed with.
Thank you. Well, I understand this is different, but it's fine. But are we going to, is a statement will be a compilation of all this on the wall? So it's quite long. So I think we need some time to read, but because I'm afraid how long, if we decide now, it will be like mission impossible. So you need to send it to us, and then we can take a look, and maybe tomorrow morning, I'm not sure. Is this different than the plan? But we need some time because it came from different session, different, you know, so.
All right, okay. So to respond to what Susanna asked, is actually just to clarify, Susanna, it's not going to be one dot per one themes, but it's going to be one dot for one key point, okay. Right? So for instance, if you see that session 2 on structural issues, there's one point, one bullet point, yeah? And then you will just need to agree whether that it is good or we still want to talk about it, yeah? So that will be, it's clear enough, yeah? So that's one, and then this is an offer, proposition from Muhammad about how we go forward, how we move forward. So Muhammad said that we need time to read, right? We need time to read, and then we also need time to actually make a vote later on. So the proposition is actually to do it tomorrow, to vote for each of the major group. Is that correct, Muhammad? Yeah. Is there anyone want to respond on that? Okay, Wali, yeah.
I can see the logic what Muhammad is saying, but to respect the process and has been described since earlier, and content have been shared to each of the major groups already, and I'm afraid if in this large group we can be gathered again or not, because I have seen and witnessed that in the morning briefing meeting there are not much people are there. So having this opportunity, a large number of people here, if you can do today, that would be the best option.
We hear from Wali. Is there any other comment? Yes?
Yeah. Just a question of clarity about the voting and then the outcome of the voting and what that means. Can you clarify again, like if everybody likes this in the way that it's said, what does that mean? I'm just curious, where does this thing go, and is this a message that's going to who's presenting it? And I'm just trying to figure out, because then I start to think about the specific process within UNEA and the resolutions, and I'm seeing this is disconnected from that. This is more of a higher level. Just some point of reference would be super helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, good question. If we agree on the key message, it's going to be our collective position and statement of the major group facilitating committee and other stakeholders. So it will be good to have that. And then we already, like Sarah already said, like what it's going to look like. There's a format that we are thinking, and then it can be used as a basis for our intervention during OECPR or UNEA 2. So what I understand from UN Environment, that there will be a chance for us to actually deliver this statement, maybe not as long as this, we will make a shorter one. We will deliver it at the OECPR or UNEA 3. Yeah.
And just to follow up, because there's many issues on the table, I'm thinking more about the resolutions and the working groups and so on. This is more speaking to the plenary, but this does not have an impact on each organization's interests in the resolutions of the working groups. I think that's a point of clarity, because I think I understand that, but if everybody understood that, it's a matter of if someone, say the business group has a certain position, they shouldn't feel threatened by this, because in the resolutions they can advocate for their positions, which may be diverse from other public interest groups. Correct or no?
Correct. Indeed. So indeed we will have, normally we have indeed some minutes to speak at plenary or in the open CPR. That we can do as a collective major group statement, which is this, I mean, the result of this. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the days on the CPR and the UNEA, we are going back to be major groups again. So now we are in kind of collective as major group facilitating committee. I mean, we didn't organize, it was RCM did organize, but I mean, we are sponsoring this. But after tomorrow, it's just the major groups again that are doing their own advocacy. So, and of course it would be nice if you can stick to a kind of collectiveness, but if it's not, then it's just not.
Okay? You're good? Great. All right. So, all right. So, aside from that, I think that there's a proposal there's two different opinions from Mohammed and then also from Wali. Is there anyone wants to discuss about the process or to have a suggestion? Okay, Sasha.
My suggestion would be to try it now.
Noreen?
I guess we could try it now, but I think for business and industry, we feel a little bit at sea here because we see absolutely no reflection of anything that we offer to the process, either in person or in writing. So it's hard for us to take this as a starting point, and in light of that, maybe we would rather wait and see what the next version of this looks like, where you have tried to reflect the major group statements and comment there. Because right now we do not see anything that we offer to the process at all.
Okay,
I agree with Mohammed's suggestion that we need as a representative of our constituencies in the facilitating committee to go through and see what is in the document
Okay.
before we move. Otherwise, I'll go with the industry.
Yeah. Is that, okay, so, if, yeah.
Let's try, and if not...
Okay. Maybe you can say that because you're part of the...
I think indeed, let's try now. We don't have a lot of time left, so let's indeed try. That's plan A. Plan B is, if it doesn't work, we still have a time slot in the green tent from 12 to 2. So then we just come back tomorrow, 12 to 2, and then we can discuss this, then we can finalize, let's say, the voting and the discussion on this. But maybe indeed it's good that we try. Maybe it's just an easy thing, we don't know. Let's try, and plan B is we come back tomorrow at 12, from 12 to 2 in the green tent.
Okay, Mohammed?
Okay, I agree, let's try, and we have time tomorrow. So from tomorrow we are meeting at Green Tent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from 7:30.
Wait.
No,
7:30, sorry.
7:30, yes, we are all going to the green tent, but that's the major group.
No.
Conference room 2, yes, sorry, not the green tent, because they're still organizing the green tent. I don't know what they're doing. Anyhow, but at 7:30 we have the major group briefing. That's every day. That starts at 7:30, so normally it's in the green tent, but tomorrow it's in conference room 2. But we have the tents, I hope, established at 12 o'clock, and then we can discuss this. But the major group briefing is on other issues. I mean, it's not on this.
Agree? Let's try? Let's try, yeah? Let's try. Okay.
No, if it's not yet settled whether we should try it now, you can put it to vote by show of hands. Whether to, but I think now it's settled that we will try it now. Yeah.
Yeah, let's try it now and then let's see what is the message. So you can also give inputs to the drafting committee if there's some message that is not incorporated yet. Okay? Yes, Maria Tiris?
There is a regional representative tomorrow meeting at 10:30. Where?
If the tent is ready in the green tent. Yeah. In the green tent, normally. But if it's not ready, then I don't know. Then it's just on the grass, I don't know.
Okay. So now we're trying. So now I want to ask my colleague there, Wali, is everything is set there? Yeah? Okay. So Wali, you need to actually instruct people also. So I would like to invite actually everyone, if you want to go there and see the formulation of the key messages. But the one who will hold the dot will be the coordinator, the MGFC, the major group coordinator. It means that for NGO is Leda, Local Authority Susana, and then Moment ISIS, yeah? So we're going to try, if you agree with that statement content-wise, yeah? If you agree with that statement, you give a green dot, okay? If you don't agree, if you feel that we need to add something, or it's not yet there, you know, we don't have red dots, I'm sorry, but we will give like an orange stabilo. put dots in orange stabilo, okay? So I'm going to, please, April, where is it? Yeah, there. So I want you to get up, yeah? Try.
Can I hide under the table?
I want you to get up, yeah, and then try to go there and look the formulation of the message, of the key message. Yeah, this is also flash. Maybe you can make it like smaller.
But still some people are going missing.
What?
Not only the coordinator are going. So everybody?
Yeah. Well, if the coordinator should go there, but if there's anyone else want to see the message, you can always go there. But please, Isis, and also Yahya. Just try to look There's a just transition there and decent work. Try to look, Yahya.
Parce que je voudrais que vous rentrez chez vous en pensant que c'était utile pour vous de venir ici. Hein.
We will give like 15 minutes for this, yeah? Maybe 20 minutes for this, and then we're done. question to the room. Like now it's 6:30 and then we have a party at 7. And then the food can get cold. Food. Okay. So maybe I can Okay, all right. Can we now sit? Okay, so we've done the exercise. And then I can see like there's a green dots, there's a blue dots, which is actually green. It's green. There's a yellow, orange dots, which is not agree, you know. So I think that this is a good exercise for us to actually see what is the key messages or what is the outcome of our sessions, yeah, that we can actually look into and then agree. So right now I have a proposal. I want full attention, please, because we're going to end the session soon. So I have a proposal. I know that some of the major groups already sent out their inputs to each of the session, but we haven't yet integrated that in the message. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send this Google Docs link, yeah, to the MGFC, okay, by tonight, and then where you can actually make your comments and give your additions, yeah, and then we're going to give instruction on how you're going to do that. And we're going to meet you again tomorrow at the green tent to finalize the overall statement. Okay? So the overall statement will be finalized tomorrow starting from 12 until 2 p.m. And then I really hope those major group who has yet to send their inputs to send that to actually give inputs to the Google Docs. Is that okay? Okay.
I think I have to make a point here, because it's not that I want to defend the business here. I'm not the person to do that. But I also want to have a fair process. And I think if we have a major group that has major issues in how the process went and they don't feel recognized in the key recommendations that we will put as a kind of final statement of this meeting, I would propose the following. Let's not call the outcome of this a statement. Let's not say that this is the statement of all the major groups and these are our key messages. I would say, well, that this is the outcome of this 2 days forum where we were present. Instead of saying, well, this is the key messages of all the major groups. I think for the member states, it doesn't make a lot of difference if they read, well, this is the statement of all the 9 major groups, except business or something, or except trade unions, but let's say we're now talking about business, or if it's just a kind of outcome of a very productive 2-day meeting where we discussed all the resolutions and the positions and so on. If we can agree on that, instead of saying it's a statement, I think that would be very helpful, and that will, I think, also make the process fair to all the major groups here present in this meeting. If we are called for presenting the outcome of this 2-day forum, and having it kind of presented as the key messages of all the major groups, I would also propose to, if we have, let's say, 4 minutes to do so, that we as all major groups have 3 minutes, and that we give at least opportunity for the business to have 1 minute to make their own things, to their own points, because they are not really included in this. I think, again, I'm not here to defend business, you just heard me saying other things, but I think we need, as a major group facilitating committee, a fair process and a balance in the 9 major groups. We are dealing with 9 major groups, so I think we also have to be fair if there are other voices that want to be raised and are not really, at least they feel that they are not really included in the messages that we have now on the window. I don't know, are you agreeing on this, or do you just say, well, no, this is out of the question? Can you give me some, if you agree, can you do like this? This is what we always do with Friends of the Earth. If you disagree, you say this.
Maybe just to say that we work a lot also with social entrepreneurs and environmental social entrepreneurs, and do agree to the statement. So I think we might just make it very clear that we have different types of business, and that there's some which are supporting it, but that the major group, with the current major group, therefore gets its own minute to speak.
Well, I think we should wait till tomorrow, and then we see if we reach an agreement. Maybe we have all the inputs from all major groups included. If not, then the plan B would be, like you said, LIDA. But let me, because it just came to my mind, so we are presenting a statement to the CBR. Are we also planning a statement for UNEA itself? Not yet. But maybe we split in two or something. But UNEA is more important, by the way.
Yeah. Take note, noted. Any others? Suggestion? Confirmation? How about the suggestion from Leda?
To call this an outcome document of this forum instead of a statement.
Okay, all right. So let me see again. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So this is going to be the outcome document of the forum. So again, the finalization will be tomorrow at the Green Tent from 12 until 2. All the major group facilitating committee will get the Google Docs by tonight for you to give inputs. Yeah? All right? So in drafting group, we'll consolidate it and have it ready for you by 12 o'clock. Is that agreeable? Yeah? In the Philippines, we say sang baksak. Can we do it? Sang baksak. Yes, great. Good. I'm not from the Philippines though. Okay, now we reach the end of the day, which is the closing session. Thank you so much, Saro. I would like to invite the MGFC co-chairs, which is Calvin, Leda, and then also Susana, to officially close. But also we are going to have like one grassroots speaker that is going to close the session. I'm going to introduce you to Helen Hakena. She's from Papua New Guinea. Helen, can you stand up? Susana, can you take the seat, please? Do you think that Helen can speak first? Yeah? We actually start this global major group and other stakeholder forum with grassroots voices, and then we also want to close it with the grassroots voices. So Helen, I give the floor to you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Helen Hakena of Leitananihan Women's Development Agency in Bougainville, Papua New Guinea.